In the meantime, would you welcome Harry and Meghan back to the UK? There's been speculation about the Sussexes maybe returning to the fold ever since the King and Prince Harry's aides were spotted holding peace talks. Insiders say it was the first step towards a reunion. They say the fact that Harry is doing more engagements is a positive sign. This was him doing a landmine thing just like his mum. However, in a new YouGov poll, only 24% said it would be a good thing for Harry to return. Only 12% said the same for Meghan. The majority also thought the Sussexes shouldn't go back to any royal duties. What do you think, Narinda? You'd like them back?
I think the royal family, I think their future really depends on Harry and Meghan, because I think they're so relevant. They appeal to, the younger generation. They work extremely hard. And I think they show, an inclusive royal family, a progressive royal family. Do I think they should come back? Absolutely not. As much as I'd love William and Harry to make up, look, if the Gallaghers can make up, so can William and Harry. And I think that any family, I hate when there's family rows and dramas, my family do, make up. I do think they need to make up, but I don't think this country is a safe place for Meghan or Harry. I think the racism that Meghan receives is despicable, and I think Harry's quite right to keep his family and his children safe from the despicable hate.
Claudia, should they come back? Because, of course, we lost... Obviously, Andrew doesn't do any engagements.
Yeah.
Who else has... We've lost... Well, Kate has been quieter, for obviously she's been unwell, obviously.
Obviously, the Queen and
Charles
Prince
as
Philip
well.
was a big loss.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah.
And then... So the thought is we really need them to get their shoulders to the wheel.
I think the future of the royal family depends on Harry and Meghan staying away.
Really?
It's so toxic. I'm really pleased to see that the UK has such good sense to give them such low opinion polls. They didn't just pack their bags and hop across the pond. They torched the bridge on their way out and then did a 6-part Netflix documentary about it. I don't think you can get away with...
What are you talking about here as the cookie show? How are they toxic? How are they toxic?
They are continuously, every time they rear their head, they've fallen out with so many people. He doesn't speak...
Charles treats his gardeners terribly. Charles has done an interview. Charles has written
not talking about Charles,
it's about... He accused the Queen of racism, basically. That was the thing.
He didn't say the Queen. They never...
Well, the Queen was head of the royal family.
Well, it doesn't matter. If they felt there was racism, they felt there was racism. They should be able to speak about that.
Well, no, because they accused them on the public stage of racism and neglect, knowing that the royals have absolutely no right to reply.
No, they do have a right to reply, because actually they feed their stories into the press and they throw Harry and Meghan under the press all the time.
Under the bus. Okay.
Harry and Meghan feed their stories back in as well.
No.
I think Ginge and Winge have made their bed and they need to lie in it.
Okay.
I think that's horrible. That's nasty.
Okay, Phoebe and Kent, hello.
Hello.
He was in love with somebody else who he couldn't marry. And he had to marry Diana so that he could give heirs to the throne.
Yeah.
And once he'd done that, he didn't... They had separate bedrooms, everything.
No, I hear you.
How are you treated, Diana?
Claudia, what do you think?
I think family is family, and it would be lovely if Harry could reconcile with his father and his brother, if they're willing to forgive him for what he's done to them time and time again. But I think that's up to them to do privately. I think any reconciliation that they want is up to them. I mean, if that was me, if I was the head of the head of the royal family, if I was Charles, I'd be looking at reconciling with an NDA in place so that he couldn't sell
with your own son. Stop it, Claudia.
And sell the details.
He's a terrible father. Charles has been a terrible father.
He hasn't been a terrible
He hasn't even
father.
seen his grandkids. I think he's met them once, if that. And he doesn't go over to America to see them. He can't even provide his own son with security.
Anything he says is going to make its way onto... Anything he says is going to make its way onto...
Just like they do about Harry. They feed stories. It's very naive, Claudia.
I think palm trees and podcast deals are perfect for them. Stay in Montecito. We don't need you here.
The royal family actually do need them, because actually they look dreadful as it is on the world stage.
Well, that is what
they
we're
look
discussing.
like they've thrown a woman of colour under the bus, and they're a very lazy family, and they need more representation. And actually they desperately need Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan don't need the royal family.
It's 12.
13, sir.
Oh, God, I'm the wrong date. 13.
Yes, sir.
You sound 12:30.
Where did I go to? I was something 10. Oh, God, I hate this.
Oh, look, it's going everywhere. Hang on. Has anybody got a mop?
Where is that?
Oh, look, it's everywhere.
There it is. Bloody thing. What do we do? Everyone's stinking.
But they're having a bit of discussion here. I am wondering where the Prince and Princess of Wales are, because they were due to arrive before the King and Queen, but maybe they took a different entrance.
Prince Charles is memo mad. With the Queen, instructions were verbally issued via the proper network. With Prince Charles, the big difference was that he went into this crazy system of memo writing. You know, to the point where there's something that's dropped in the bin and you want it to be retrieved, you know, ask the servant to pick it out of the bin. Prince Charles tended to write a letter saying, I think something's dropped in the bin, could you try and retrieve it for me?
Prince Charles also has a legendary temper, as his staff know to their cost. One of his later butlers was Ken Strike, who sold stories to the press which revealed what his master was like to serve.
Charles and Ken Strike were away for a weekend with friends, staying at a friend's house, and Charles was trying to put his own collar studs in, which he doesn't normally do for his formal stuff. And he dropped one of the studs, and it sort of bounced around the sink and went down the plug hole. Charles was in a fury, just ripped the sink from the wall, threw it to the floor, shattered it into 1,000 pieces, retrieved the stud. Ken had to put it in. And then when Ken had put it in, Charles grabbed him by the throat. Well, they said, "You do understand, Ken, I just have to let this out." Well, Ken was so terrified, he sort of backed out of the room, but he didn't know the geography of the room, so he backed into a cupboard and stayed there for 10 minutes before letting himself out.
Prince Charles expected his butler to keep visits to Camilla a secret from the princess.
Paul just turned around to him and said, well, are you expecting me to lie for you, Your Royal Highness? And Prince Charles said, well, yes. Yes, I am. And went into this histrionics about being the King of England, the future King of England, the Prince of Wales, and you will lie, stamping his feet, and then threw this book in Paul's direction.
And Prince Charles is one of the most demanding.
Charles likes, there's a particular dish he likes to eat when he goes out hunting, which is softly boiled eggs and Scotch whisky, waiting for him when he comes back. But of course they never know when he's coming back. So a good half an hour before he's due back, they start boiling up a batch of 20 eggs for 3 minutes exactly. And then if he hasn't arrived in those 3 minutes, they throw them away. Then they start another batch.
Writer at The Spectator, Alexander Lman. Alexander, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm a bit surprised by the front page of your Sunday Times today. Now, I thought, you know, King Charles was a bit tree-huggy, but maybe Harry's got a point about the rest of the royal family on this one. I mean, Charles doesn't sound like that good a boss, does he?
Hi, Dawn. Well, I think the thing to remember is that all members of the royal family staff have always been incredibly badly paid. I mean, this isn't limited to Highgrove, Buckingham Palace, or any of the other institutions. I mean, especially people who are doing the behind-the-scenes stuff. I mean, the domestic staff, they have never been well paid. In fact, the revelation that a lot of the Highgrove gardeners are on minimum wage would be quite shocking. But on the other hand, I think there is a real disconnect between King Charles, how he sees the world and how things ought to be in his eyes. Be like for these people, because ultimately it's a demanding job. I mean, there was a story a couple of years ago about how people were expected to literally crawl across the lawn at Highgrove and picking out things like woodlice because Charles didn't like the noise of people having to do it with any machines. And The trouble is, if you are king, it's very difficult to say no to him. But of course, there is this very fast staff turnover. There are all these people who obviously aren't happy. And I think you have to start saying, well, why isn't there somebody between the king and obviously the HR who can say to him, well, hang on, this isn't working. If you want the gardens to look as magnificent as they have done, first of all, you have to have really top-end staff who are going to be paid properly and who pay a competitive salary. But secondly, you also have to rethink the traditional royal attitude towards staff. You have to actually take these people seriously, because it's the kind of thing that a lot of your viewers, I think, would have probably have thought that's the kind of job I would have liked to have done. Then you inquire, well, what's the pay? The pay isn't always pathetic. It's a real pity.
I mean, there's the one paragraph in this that really shocked me, Alexander, was the king was involved in one departure after a probationary gardener made a factual error about a flower, prompting Charles to insist, don't put that man in front of me again. I mean, there's being angry with someone who's not doing their job properly, but that's just downright nasty and rude, isn't it?
I don't think it's so much downright nasty and rude as just completely removed from reality. Because what we have to remember with Charles is that there's been a lot of PR spin about him since he became king. We've told how wonderful he is, we've told how great he is, blah, blah, blah. This isn't really true. The thing about King Charles is that for all the wokery and for all the tree hugging, there is this part of him which is incredibly entitled. And he'd always believed that he can do whatever he likes. And when this butts up against reality, he doesn't like it. I mean, just remember after he became king, when he was using that pen to sign that piece of paper and he lost his temper. I mean, we all saw how quickly he gets moved to anger. I mean, the only thing I'd say, the only thing I'd say is it's quite likely that he would have said one day, oh, don't show that man over to me again. But the next day, if a man had appeared, it would have all been forgotten. I mean, I don't actually believe he's the kind of person who would have held grudges. I think, you know, he's got a short temper, like both his sons, actually. And that is very much a Windsor family tradition. But he doesn't bear grudges and he doesn't go around with a sense of loathing people. But it doesn't look great. I mean, I think that's the thing you can absolutely see.
Highgrove is losing its harmony.
This story really, not a lot surprises me. This story really surprised me, I have to say. Highgrove is one of the King's residences. He is a passionate gardener. We know that. He's a passionate environmentalist. The King likes to take his daily walks when he's at Highgrove. He likes to take his daily walkabout. He likes to give feedback to the staff. He likes to quiz them. In recent years, things have got very unhappy with the gardening team, the head gardening team at Highgrove. They have lost 11 out of the 12 gardeners since March 2022. That is a lot of staff. You don't turn down, you don't chuck in a job at Highgrove if you're a gardener. I don't imagine there are wonderful, lots and lots of gardening jobs going up, beautiful royal gardening kind of venues. Anyway, including head gardeners. Let me just read you what happened when he was doing a walkabout, and he was talking to a probationary gardener, so presumably a young lad or a trainee gardener. And the gardener made a factual error about a flower. And you know what King Charles said? Don't put that man in front of me again.
Joking.
It's really bullying behaviour. It's really, and I'm not an anti-monarchist at all. But this actually is, it catalogues really unpleasant behaviour, actually, from King Charles towards his staff.
But gardeners
low pay, low morale.
Gardeners can earn a fortune these days. You can't, where I live up north, you can't get gardeners. You really can't get gardeners. And it's...
Working at Highgrove is quite different. Working for King Charles at Highgrove.
Are they paid well?
No, very low pay.
Well, precisely. So why... No, you've still got to make a living. You've still got to put food in the fridge.
Yeah, you do. And do you think that's an acceptable way for King Charles to speak to people? To a young gardener who got something about a flower wrong, don't put that man in front of me again.
If he said it,
not nice.
Acceptable.
Bullying.
If he said it, if it's wrong.
When they talk about welfare, they have you believe that black people is the face of welfare. Well, we have this YT welfare king receiving $2,800 a month. Now they're cutting it down to $300. Let's listen to what this MAGA welfare recipient had to say about this.
Trump has cut my food stamps from $2,800 down to $350. Now, what am I supposed to do? So I literally just got this piece of mail today saying that due to new policy changes from the Trump administration and all this shit, whatever, tell me I have to go work. Now I have to go do all this. Well, I literally got 5 kids, okay? I'm trying to sit here and spend time with them. I'm not trying to go work, 50, 60 hours a week so I can pay bills.
A lot of these cuts, they're exposing who really receive these benefits. They can't use black people as the narrative anymore, as the face of welfare, because you see a lot of white people on this app talking about Trump cut this, right? I see more white people than black people. Then on top of that, who told this guy to have 5 kids? Who told him to have kids that he can't take care of? Welfare is temporary assistance from the government. You can't spend your entire life dependent on this governmental system that's supposed to have only supported you temporarily. Out of that $2,800 monthly that he used to receive, plus other benefits, you could tell none of that money went towards a pair of work boots. Like, what happened to lacing up your work boots and being a hard worker? You're just out here having kids that you can't take care of. Like, that is crazy.
Also, family, let's go on TikTok. For those who are on TikTok, let's go follow the notorious JTB 2_2.0. And also the regular, the notorious JTB, that king of ours. God bless you, brother. We love you here. You are big mouth. You are the big mouth that we have in this Success Squad family. You are blessed, brother. God bless you. Also remember, the notorious JTB has a backup channel that is called the Night of Success. So let's follow my brother, He ain't gonna leave these people alive. He's not gonna leave these haters alive, I tell you. By the time he's gonna be done with them, all those haters gonna shut their channels. But guess what? They are actually blocking him. So if you do find any video where those people talking smack about Her Royal Highness Duchess of Sussex or His Royal Highness Prince Harry Windsor, please send them to the notorious JTB mailbox on TikTok. So that's how he does get those contents that we are also sharing with y'all guys down here. Thank you, my brother. God bless you. I love you. Hello, my people. Lady Rosie here. How y'all doing? All my new subscribers, you're welcome. And my returning subscribers, you all know I love you. Guys, remember the UK tabloids came out here. They told us Her Royal Highness Duchess of Sussex was a narcissist. She was firing everybody from her job. And they don't understand some people do have jobs with contracts. And some people work under contract when their contracts expires and they leave the work. The Duchess of Sussex is still building that company there where she's going to have all people working permanently and all those stuff. These people are individuals. They are not institutions. They are not institutions like a royal institution like the farm there. Why is it hard for these people to understand? These people just started building this company of theirs and they just started building their lives together not too long ago. And nobody can give them grace when people leave the company where people start new other jobs or the success decide that their contract was over. They go on the news. Oh gosh, it's just really hard to work with these people. And those are really humans. Real humans in that whole entire family of Windsor are Her Royal Highness Duchess of Sussex and His Royal Highness the Duke of Sussex. Are part of these two. There are no humans in that family. I already told you. Why am I telling you so? Because I am a behavioral health professional. Yes, I am one. A really well reputable behavioral health professional. I can tell you, if you look at those Windsors, there is no humanity in none of those people left down there in on that salty island. None. The only 2 humans from that family are these 2 I named from Montecito. All the rest of them are demons. and they work with rotten souls on them all the time. They're terrible. They came out here because they have the voice that can amplify all the hate. And you know, the world kind of likes the world likes drama. When you coming out with all the lies with drama, that's what people like to hear. When you come in with truth like me, people ain't gonna sit down here waste their time. They're like, well, you wasting our time. You just way too nice. You know? You loving people, you supporting people, you are terrible. You shouldn't be supporting people. You should be mean like a Kyle Miller. You should be terrible like a Charlie Boy. You should be horrible like a Bulliam. And guess what? We're gonna come watch your videos and we're gonna share those videos because the drama is just so sweet. People love that hate part, and people like lies. But like a few people like me, I despise lies. You can come to my home if you're a liar. You lie? You lied to me one time, brother, sister, I'm telling you, you ain't gonna be my friend no more. But those Charlie boys came out here, oh gosh, Meghan is a narcissist. She can't work with people. Did you all hear what happened with those gardeners? It's not is that a Clarence house? Which property of the royals is that? That property was supposed to go to Bulliam. When this is a Clarence house, I believe, because this Charlie boy became the king. He should have left that Clarence house to this guy, but I don't know how accurate that thing is because remember, Clarence house used to be the queen mama, that alcoholic bitch's house. That home used to be hers, and she gave that home to her grandbaby, who is this devil, the wizard, Charlie boy. So since that thing was given to Charlie boy by his grandmother, I do not really think that it really need to go down to Bulliam. But anyway, that man knows that Bulliam is work shy. That kid is lazy like I don't know what. Like the demons that produce him. He did not come from Diana's womb like that. He came from some kind of bad spirit, just got into Diana's womb and got produced by all those terrible demons that he is. That guy's terrible. I'm so sorry, Queen Diana, you had to carry this wizard in your belly for all those 9 months and then it turned on you. Because it's cursed. It's the heir to the throne. It obeys and bows to the throne, cares about the throne more than he cares about you who carried him in your womb for all those years. But guess what, Queen? Don't worry yourself. All the beauty that you did put in that mouth, you took every single thing in back then. You did good. God bless you where you at. We love you back here. We be talking about you all the time, my Queen. Rest in peace. So the gardeners left, and the gardeners came out here in a very well detailed statements I saw online everywhere. Everybody be talking about. They said, this dude's so rude. He's not polite at all. The way he talks to these people, and it was a few years ago, they down hired 12 of these people. 12 disciples of Jesus were hired to care for that Clarence garden. And I'm telling you, by the time I'm making this video, guess what? 11 of them left. 11 of the gardeners left because they say this guy is not easy to work with. And you know, most of the people who are hard to work with are actually the real narcissists. And Charlie Boy is one of them. He is one of them. Remember this guy when Diana used to be dressing up, looking all good, slim, beautiful, and tall? That guy started wearing high heels because he was a few inches shorter than his wife. He started behaving like Napoleon. That dude started wearing shoes with bigger soul so he could be a little bit taller. And he never wanted to stand by Diana too long because people would see that difference, because dude ain't all that tall. Dude ain't all that tall. And all those complex of inferiority, you know who cares about their looks that much? Of course, a narcissist. The real narcissists really care how the world sees them out here. They don't really care what is on the inside. How can a normal person who is not a narcissist hating on their own beautiful wife? Who are those ones? Just drop the comment down here. I don't know where what you gonna tell me, but I'm ready to learn from you. Because the people that I deal with, I'm telling you from my book, brother, I'm a queen. I'm telling you, this Charlie boy is a narcissist. He is very hard to work with, and that privilege just ruined every single damn thing for him. Everything. Damn, I can't stand that man. I cannot stand that guy. I cannot stand the rest of the Windsors, except the ones in California. Those ones on Salty Island, I do not like all of them. I wonder why God is still keeping them. What happened to what God used to do to the Pharaohs back in the day? God, where you at? Guys, I'm going to leave y'all guys right here. I'll talk to y'all guys again tomorrow. Please go subscribe to Isabella Back's channel. Go to my brother Barron's channel. That's the Royal Success. And Isabella Back's channel is also called the Isabella Back's channel. Let's get this sister 10,000 subscribers. And please share my video so we could get those views. I'm kind of getting tired about all these requests, because it's not really going anywhere. But anyway, it is what it is. When God is going to want people to come watch these videos here, they're going to watch it. I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.